our human history is confused, and it goes a long way back, and who really knows? But if you understand how things work, and you understand how the body works, and you understand how sexual energy works, and you just observe the current day, you understand. History repeats itself. This is the same thing happening over and over again. And when you understand how you can manipulate the mind to control sexual energy, but sexual energy, then you understand that's how you get people to do what you want. That is why sexuality is taboo. It's not prostitution that is taboo, it's sexuality. Real sexuality is taboo because sexuality is power. As I said this in some of the opening series, man has half power, woman has the other half power, and together they can create worlds, nations, and gods. That's a lot of power for two fucking idiots in the jungle. You see what I'm trying to say? So if I want to use that power for myself, I better separate one from the other, and I better channel their energy in the direction that I want, which is exactly what they're doing. This is a not new story. This is an old story repeating itself, and some people idealize old cultures, and in India it wasn't like this. No. It's always been like this. It's always like this. People idealize stuff. In ancient Kemet it wasn't like this. I'm like, you crazy? They're worshipping Isis and Osiris. That's the Greek names of these deities. It was the guy who was killed, and then he impregnated through spirit his wife who was a virgin, and then she had Heru, and he's the virgin birth son. And these are the original kings and queens of Egypt. And then from that point on, we worship them. So you see, classism has always been there. And we're always worshipping the elite. This is the king and queen. He's God. You just said he impregnated his wife after being dead. And then that's the son who's born from a virgin mother from a spirit. And these are the basic gods of Egyptian lore. Isis and Osiris, which are their Greek names, right? Asar and Aset. And Heru, the sun. And there we go. So it's always the same. Anyways, I don't want to go in that direction. This is just to give you a sense. I think it's a mistake to idealize the past, because I feel that people are blinded to what's happening and think once upon a time things were perfect and amazing. I'm like, no, they were less materialistic, less intense as now, because things get denser and denser. But it's always the same. If you look at the Mahabharata, what are they doing? We're celebrating princes, kings, and the elite. Now, I can't say that because this is a holy book. A holy book as you like, I don't have a problem with it. I've studied it. I'm like, but they're literally telling you, they're the elite. It's Prince fucking Harry of the time, except in India, with his 5 brothers banging the same woman. Come on. Anyways, everything, it's not that there's not knowledge or wisdom to acquire. I've read it, I enjoyed it very much. I'm like, yeah, but there's also code. Let's say you are a peasant, you read this. Now who do you worship? Arjuna, Lord Krishna, who's God. Lord Krishna, who's God, is hanging out with the princes because he's cousin with the prince, so he's a prince. So it's like the Duke of Cambridge. Right? No, I say that people get offended because this is Lord Krishna, he's the blue god, he's so beautiful. I'm like, yeah, I don't have a problem with Krishna. I'm just saying at a level, if you look at it from a basic level, you put aside your belief system, it's like, well, what are they telling you? They're telling you we're the elite, we have special powers, special mantras, and we're superior, and we have access to powers, and we have the highest priest on our side, and then we're fighting against the other bandits, horrible, non-dharmic creatures who are also elites, and you are going to be in our war because you're fighting with us for righteousness. But who are you worshipping by default? Who are these characters? I'm not saying it's all like that. I'm saying this is core stories. So you say there's exceptions. I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever you want. But at the end of the day, there's something repetitive. There's code. We want you to think this way. We've codified that so that if you absorb yourself, you can gain some wisdom, but also your mind is structured. Am I saying that this is bad? No, I didn't say it's bad. I said that's what's going on. And nobody going to tell me that that's not what you're doing. That's exactly what you're doing. You go to Islam, it's the same. There's a code. It's like a helmet, and then you learn to see life through that window. I ain't got no problem with that. But what about reality? Reality doesn't need a construct. So if I'm so far from reality that I need to be taken to it step by step, fine. But what I see from those so-called traditions or religious, spiritual, whatever you want, the person stays bound to it. Maybe they stretch it a little bit if they're like really curious. They're always stuck in it. You cannot ever go past that. Which means they're bound. Well, I don't understand. So you're looking for truth, but you can't find truth. Truth is not awakened in you. It's in your mind. And your mind has to dictate to your body, which is the goddess and nature, how to behave and how to perform its actions. What kind of life is this? That don't make sense to me. I've tried this. This is madness. Because if you don't do that, then you'll become a monster. Perhaps. Perhaps not. But perhaps. But perhaps not. So anyways, all this, I understand. I've studied lots of stuff. I've seen it. I've also seen it in action. I've been part of a lot of groups. I went there as a little prince, exploring that group and see how they are. And yeah, it's like, yeah, if you're happy, dude, it's good for you, man. Who am I to say anything? If this makes you happy, if you love this and it makes you feel good, enjoy. I don't care. I'm not gonna hang out with you unnecessarily because you're insane. But whatever. If I have to do business with you and you're a good this or a good Christian or a good this, I'm happy. Like whatever. Simple exchange. But I'm not gonna hang out with you. You're insane. I love you, I respect you, but I don't want to spend time with a person who's like constricted. Like, come on. That's not the life I want for myself. I don't know how you can live like this. And I understand that on the other side of the construct, there is an infinite sea of unknown. And that we can feel extremely intimidated in front, and that we can feel that we drown in it, and it's darkness as far as we know. And I respect that. I totally do, and I'm not pretending that it's not the case, and I'm not pretending that I'm a superhero and that doesn't intimidate me. Yeah, of course it does. It's infinite. It's God as far as we understand. Yeah, but that's what I want. So I'm going to find teachers and guides to take me in that journey. I don't want a construct. I don't want another construct and another construct. Even if the construct is more better or more optimal or more whatever, it's still a construct. I don't want that. That's not what I want. And at the end of the day, I'm making something very clear, because all this is a subject of sexuality. All of this is to control sexual power. Remember, the human being is it's a battery. Positive pole, negative pole, and in between there's that generative creative power that we can call sexual energy that animates, activates, gives birth to every part of your body, sustains it, replenishes it, and allows you to produce, create, generate. So all these constructs, what do? They're trying to guide the human being as if the human being doesn't have an inner compass. Now, there may be a broken inner compass, there may be a disconnection from the inner compass, and I can understand that. In that situation, these constructs are necessary, otherwise there would be quote-unquote chaos. I can understand this. Hell, I can even respect this. I'm a witness to it, because if we remove the construct of society outside of the world today, people think it would be freedom. It would be such a fucking mess. It would be hell. Okay, I understand that. But I'm interested in the compass. I want to know what happened to the compass. I want to know if the compass is fixable, and I want to reconnect to the compass because I want guidance from life itself. I don't want a helmet telling me what to do and not to do, even if the helmet is saying the truth.